Um, so my name is Steve Toll. I'm president of Silicon Valley Visual Arts, and we have presented the Open Studios for 38, going on 38 years now. With me, we have Roberta Kipeth, Ida Gambin, Nancy Woods, and Barbara Pease, who are also board members and volunteers helping out with the organization. Um, when we get to Q&A, obviously, questions can be addressed to any of us. We, each have different roles in the organization, but I think among us we'll have the answers, whatever answers that you need. So, just as a quick note on my own participation, I've participated in SVOS now for 12 years. Initially just as an individual participant, as I'm a photographer, and then 4 years ago I joined the board and took on the president's job, and have been working hard ever since. So the Silicon Valley Visual Arts is a registered nonprofit 501c3. And as I mentioned, we have presented Open Studios, Silicon Valley Open Studios, for 38 years now. So it's been, quite a long history. Probably most people are familiar with it, obviously, or may have participated in the past in different ways. We are run by volunteers, mostly artists, and as a result, we're all involved in the arts business, and we can relate to and understand whatever questions or issues you might have in participating in Open Studios. We don't take any commissions on sales at Open Studios. We are not juried, and all artists are welcome. We encourage folks who are new to try it out. It's a great way for an artist who's just getting started to see what it's like to exhibit and sell. And but we also have many artists who participate regularly year after year, and many cases 20 or more years. So it's it's a wide range of people who are involved in Open Studios. We have a lot of services and support, which we provide at very low cost, because we are able to, first of all, the people in the organization are mostly volunteers, so the cost is low, and that gets spread among a large number of participating artists. So on a per artist basis, the cost of participation is quite low, especially when you compare it to other similar types of events. We also have group discounts if you have an organization that's more than 15 artists. We have a number of those who participate, galleries and studios and so on. Last year, or it was last year at this point, we had over 300 artists participate. That was down a bit from the pre-pandemic number. We were a little bit over 400 just before COVID hit. But it dropped off quite a bit. Obviously, during COVID, people were concerned about having exhibits and mingling with members of the public, with good reason. But at any rate, just to give you some feel for the results for the artists who do participate, there is a wide range, but we do a survey each year to see how people did. Last year, we had the artists that we got responses from, which were 70. Indicated they had a total of 8,500 visitors over the 3 weekends, and they averaged $1,200 in sales per artist. Some obviously did less than that, some did substantially more than that, but it's an average number. One of the things we put a lot of effort into is publicity. Obviously, it's something that makes a significant impact for for not just for the artists, but also for the community. We get a lot of people who look forward to visiting artists during open studios each year. And so we work hard to get articles in the press, and as well as event calendars, advertising, leading up to the show. We also run email campaigns. We have a mailing list of artists of visitors who enjoy coming to open studios. So we send out announcements to them. And we also are ramping up our social media presence, which Ida can tell you more about it a little later on if you have questions about that. We are definitely looking for people to support us in that, because it's really a collective process of getting awareness, building on each other's efforts. Some of the other benefits of open studios: we print between 30 and 35,000 full color printed directories, and those are distributed throughout the peninsula, free to the public, at over 400 locations. And we also provide copies for the participating artists to distribute to their folks they know as well. And it's also available as an online PDF. So, regardless of the format that people want to see it in, there's different ways they can do that. We have a professional PR firm, and they help us get articles in the press. And we do both print and online advertising. I mentioned the mailing list and the social media promotion. It's really important. We've emphasized this in the last couple of years. It's very important for people who do participate in open studios, if they have a social media presence, hopefully most of you do, to collaborate and support the efforts that we are making, so that we have a greater impact and a greater reach to the broader community. Other things that we do: we provide marketing materials for the artists. We have the yellow street signs that everybody recognizes if they've been to open studios before. They are highly visible. You can spot them from quite a ways away if you're driving around a neighborhood that's got artists open studios. And we also have posters that can be put up in shops, libraries, and so on. And we've been distributing those as well. We also, it varies from year to year, but we also typically have at least one or two preview exhibits, and those are open to any of the participating artists. It's a chance to get some visibility of the show and of your own work prior to the actual event. One of the other things that's really valuable, I think, from an artist perspective, is we provide a artist profile page on our website, which remains up throughout the year, and it has your contact information. Excuse me. Your contact information and websites, social media, and so on. We also have been asking artists to submit videos, short videos, a few minute type videos of their own work. And if you're interested in doing something like that, please talk to Ida or Roberta, and they can give you some guidance on that. Education classes are another important element, especially for those artists who are relatively new. There are classes online that have been recorded, as well as events, ones like this, where we have different topics that are presented, and things like how to set up your studio to prepare for open studios. How do you price your work? How do you market it? and so on. So there are quite a few of those that are available to registered artists via your the registration page on the website. If you have any questions or problems getting to those, just let us know and we'll point you in the right direction. And finally, and probably most importantly, we do provide support for any questions or problems or issues you run into when you're either when you're registering or getting ready. And Barbara Peace is one of our board members who does a lot of the member support. So she's with us today as well, and be happy to answer questions there. Finally, well, I thought I should also mention that since we are volunteer led and most of our staff is volunteer, we are always looking for more help. The more hands, the less work for everybody. So if you have any interest in participating in helping with any of the areas that you see listed on this slide, they're all important functions. There's no make work in this organization. So recruiting is important, social media, and so on. All of the things that you see listed on that slide are vitally important to us, and we can use, especially if you don't have to be an expert necessarily. It's just if you have a strong interest and maybe some experience or some inclination in a particular area, let us know. And there's a link there that you can see on the slide for for if you can certainly mention something to us in this presentation, but if you want to take a look at some of the openings we've got and submit questions or expression of interest, feel free to use the link that I have there, svva.org/volunteering. These are just some additional links, and most of you are presumably familiar with our main Open Studio website, which is svos.org. Our other main website is svva.org, which stands for Silicon Valley Visual Arts. And that's more about the organization as opposed to the event, the Open Studios event. So we have have them split along those lines. Any rate, as long as you know those two two sites, svos.org and svva.org, you can pretty much find anything you might need, whether it's volunteering or registration or getting assistance. That's you can access all of those just from those sites. Yeah, that was pretty much it. As far as the overview is concerned, I'll be happy to open it up for questions. Anybody who's interested, please. I don't know, Roberta, how you want to handle it. Do you want to have people submit them via chat, or just go ahead and unmute and ask their questions? Well, maybe let me be asking you one thing first. I'd be just interested to see how many of you have participated previously in Open Studios. Quite a few people have their screens off, so it's hard to say, obviously hard to know. But I'm curious. Okay, we have some who have participated previously, and obviously those who haven't, be happy to answer any questions you might have.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Jay.
Right. Yeah. So you mentioned that one of the benefits of being a SVOS membership is getting the large group discount. So how do you qualify for that?
Yeah, so if you can pull together a group of at least 15, we currently have 4, 5, or I think it's either 4 or 5 groups of, like, and mostly they're over 20. We have groups of 25, 30, 35. They tend to be either gallery groups or studio groups. Um, but I don't know too many individuals who have enough room to
Mhm.
accommodate a large number of people. So you tend not to see the individual artists pulling together groups of that size. Oh, and I should mention that on the website, if you want to participate in a large group or in a group,
Yes,
which we strongly encourage because it brings more visitors. The bigger the group, obviously, the more visitors you will get.
yes.
You can go on the website, and in the registration section, there's a page for finding a host,
Okay.
and or to offer to host. If you can accommodate other artists at your location that
Mm-hmm.
you are showing at. We again strongly encourage people to do that. I do that personally. I've typically have 8 or 9
Okay.
artists showing with me. So it's definitely a benefit. It's beneficial to your traffic, and I would either way, whether you want to participate with other artists at another site, or if you want to get other artists to show with you, you can put that information in on your the hosting section of your registration,
Mm-hmm.
and then other people will be able to see it.
Okay, so you qualify for a group discount only after you register, is it? Or you can't do it before?
Yeah, if you, I don't think I've ever had any group that pulled together enough artists to reach that number
Okay.
from scratch. Usually it's planned. It's either an existing group that has that many artists already,
Mm-hmm.
or it's somebody who's pulled together specifically for the event a group that they pull together. So if you think you're actually able to do that, then let us know. Obviously, we'll talk more about that.
No, I was actually wanted to ask the reverse. I was thinking that if you know a group, you refer me to a group so that I can join as a
Oh,
group.
okay. Yeah, that's fine to host.
Uh-huh.
And you can do that on the website. Most of I would say most of the large groups that we have now are, they're either gallery groups or they're studio groups, and so they tend to be restricted to their own membership.
Okay.
Um, I think there might be 1 or 2 that have other participants as well, but those tend to be the exception.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Steve, this is Barbara.
Yes.
Didn't we a couple of years ago have someone who actually pulled a group together and rented a space in Redwood City?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
example of
Yeah.
I won't call it an ad hoc. It certainly wasn't ad hoc. It was carefully
She
planned.
planned, it was planned. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
planned, yes. And yeah, she did pull together a group of 15, I think it was, and in order to
Yeah.
get enough people.
I don't know what the status of Maker Nexus is this year, but they were a group site that was not membership based.
That's true.
If we can, yeah,
I don't know what the status is either. I think I've
Teresa.
asked Teresa, and I asked one other person about that, but I haven't heard.
I think they have to get somebody to actually do the work.
To organize it, yes, probably. Yeah. Other questions?
So there was a couple of questions in chat that Ida did chat back some answers for. So Sue and Monica, if you have follow-ups to that, otherwise Ida did put some information there for you, if that's helpful.
Let me take a look. So yeah, my question is on the student fee. It's on the webpage, it says student fee $95 with an asterisk next to it. Which usually means look at the bottom of the page, for the follow-up to the asterisk. Do you want any information about our student ID or anything, or just say we're a student?
That's me. That's Barbara. So if you email asking that question, and you can email to info@svos.org, I will answer you. And
Okay.
we do want a student ID, or if you don't have a student ID, just schedule like a class schedule, just something to say, yeah, I'm a student.
Okay.
And then when you do that, I will send you the code.
Perfect.
Do you have to be a full-time student or?
No.
Okay.
Right, Steve?
And-
You don't have to be a full-time student.
That's correct, right? You do have to be a currently registered.
Currently registered and paying for classes somewhere. I mean,
Okay.
it can be a private art school. We just student.
And
Correct?
I just had
Yeah.
one
Yes,
follow-up
Michelle.
question. I'm sorry. I joined a few minutes late, so sorry if this was repeated, but in the registration process, I started to go through it, but I'm not able to do this at my home. So I wanted to see how I could find a group,
Right.
but I don't want to pay the registration fee and go through everything if I can't find a group. What do you recommend?
Oh, well, yeah. If you have, okay, probably the best thing to do would be to connect with Barbara, just like she mentioned, through info@SVOS, and and she can show you or tell you what's available, and you can get an idea. Obviously, well, I would suggest doing that. Just contact her and and see what looks good for you.
Yeah. So
hopefully I think we have. I'm trying to remember how many host sites we have, but
I can check really quick.
Yeah, my home is a bit remote, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We currently have 17 people who are hosting.
Oh.
So the process.
What section? Whereabouts do you live?
I'm in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have
so
a preference in terms of location? Because we have a lot of sites are in the mid peninsula to south peninsula.
Okay. I mean, Los Gatos, Saratoga, San Jose, any of those, or Campbell.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely have some in San Jose and Los Gatos.
Great.
I don't see any in Campbell, but we have several, in San Jose and Los Gatos. So yeah, it's hard to you need to contact the host and get the and it's an agreement between the host and the guest artist. We do our best to make sure that everyone finds a host. Everyone who wants to host finds a host. So
okay.
Yeah, that's our goal. Sometimes people want to show all 3 weeks, and what we do try to do is, if people are looking for hosts for all 3 weeks, we try to get everybody a host for 1 week, and then we start going through and working on second and third weeks. So that's how our process works.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
Other questions? Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, Elaine.
if I'm thinking of having it in my backyard with one of my friends who also has artwork, when I'm signing up, do I just put down our two names at my house? Is that how I would do it?
Yeah, so each artist who is participating will needs to register, because you each get your own directory
Account. Yeah.
directory entry, and obviously you want to post up your own artwork so other people can see it.
Right.
So yeah, but you would of course list your own address as your site, and then your guest artist would,
Okay.
when they're registering, they would simply
Okay.
say they're registering to show at your location.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
and when you do sign up, there's a place to ask, are you willing to host others? In your case, you would say 2 if you only want to do the 2.
Well, yeah, I've never done this, so I can't imagine, the whole
Well,
thing.
or you don't. Yeah, you don't need to if it's you and your friend, your other artist, and you're not, you don't want to have anybody else, just the 2 of you.
Yeah, then you don't
I
have
would
to have
actually not put down that you want to host, because that
Okay,
opens you
that's
up
what I
to
was
the.
concerned about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's
Okay,
good.
so
point.
we just put down our addresses, my
Right.
address.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. Both of you would do that.
yes, okay,
The
great.
yeah, when you're in the registration process and you're putting your location, you put in your city. If you already have a location that that you want, and that if you've shown before, or if there's somebody who you are showing with, you put the city down, and then you drop down a list of the addresses in that city.
Okay,
One thing it's kind of an honor system that everybody has to. You can't just pick a random address in a city.
well,
You have to. It has happened. Misunderstandings happen. So yeah. So it's an agreement between the 2 artists, or the however many artists, the
Okay.
host and the however many artists. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the key point there is, if you want to show at somebody else's location, obviously you need to have their concurrence that's okay.
Yes.
So that's the key point. We have once or twice had people just sign themselves up for someone's site. Lo and behold.
Yeah, or somebody who showed with another artist, and they just said, okay, I'm going to show with that artist again, but that artist had decided not to do it that year. So it's an honor system. We don't have a good way of it's an honor system.
We do have some checks for those kind of situations,
And
but usually
we check.
it's kind of after the fact, so it's not something we can catch right away.
Well,
Okay. And then one other question, do you have a vendor you recommend for buying racks to mount your art? The big racks that people hang everything on.
Okay, the panels or racks. Yeah. I would suggest there's a artist group called Silicon Valley Artists, or SVOS Artists, on a website called groups.io, and it's kind of a community board for participating artists, and it's a great way to find out if anybody, sometimes people are getting rid of panels that they have, or they're or other people might be looking for panels. So I would there's a link on the website on the artist page that will take you to that site.
Yeah.
On the
SVOS page.
Right.
Okay.
It will take you to that site. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you have any questions or problems, just let us know. But
okay.
There are definitely some decent sources, not too expensive for those. Plus if you don't want to own them, if you just want to rent them, there's that possibility too. So.
And that's through SVOS. They have that information.
No, we don't. Yeah, we don't actually get involved in the middle of those types of transactions. but we try to provide a way for people to exchange information so that
Okay.
they can find a source.
Mhm. Okay.
I have a place that I've used, for example, on grids, which not every artist uses. A lot of artists use flat panels, but so if you're interested in grids, I can
Grids, yeah.
give you some information on that.
Okay.
There's a website called Displays to Go. I don't know. I think I bought some grid panels there at one point. They're
Okay.
they may not be the cheapest thing.
That's all right.
Or you can even look, on Amazon.
Yeah, I did look on Amazon. It was a bit confusing, so I just thought maybe if there were recommendations. Yeah, because some of my paintings are kind of big and they might be a little heavy, and I didn't want to fall over.
Yeah. No, that's a very
Yeah.
good question, and it's something that artists, the artists who exhibited a while can certainly give you some suggestions for.
Thank you.
I have one more question. This is in regards to registering. So if you're doing multiple medium or multiple art styles, would you list all of it while you're registering? Just say you're doing realistic art, so you as well as abstract art. So how do you list your listing?
So we don't have categories for realism versus abstract. We have categories for mediums. Like I think we have painting. Do we have another for watercolor, Steve? I forget.
I think so.
Yeah.
There's two or three for the general painting category, but most of them correct is it's things like photography, ceramics, glass,
wearables, jewelry,
right,
wood.
So you could put that information in your artist statement. There's a place to put an artist statement.
Okay.
So just put it in there. That's just like a paragraph that you can add to your profile online. That's just an artist statement. So you could put in there what type of art you do, whether it's realistic or abstract or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Also,
you have images that you will upload. So you can also, put descriptions in there, although, your image will be self-evident whether it's realistic or abstract.
Okay.
But, at particulars of your medium, painting is a pretty broad category. So so you can put it in the sorry, Steve.
No, I was just gonna say Roberta's made a good point in that you can there's a lot of information you can put in your artist profile, what about the different kinds of art that you do and your background and so forth, and you can also you can upload as Barbara was pointing out 6 images, so you can have, if you have more than one type of art like realistic versus abstract, you can put up examples of both. And then you can also have a link in there to your website so that people can go if they want more, examples, they can go to your website.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
I have a question. Hi.
Yes, Sue.
Sorry, I don't know how to work my camera. So I have been to your open studios many times, and so I am making nutcrackers, and they're 3 feet, 5 feet, and 7 feet tall.
Wow.
Would that be something that would be something I could show at Open Studio?
Yeah, as long as they're original works, right?
If you've made them.
Oh, okay. And then you were talking about categories. So what category would I list it under?
Maybe sculpture, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
We do have a category of woodworking, but that's probably not what people would think of.
I mean,
like
and we have furniture too, right? But that's not really furniture. I
we
think
may have
sculpture,
to come up with another category.
Okay.
It's probably not.
Great.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. I'm not sure we've had anybody who's
makes
exhibited nutcrackers before.
Big nutcrackers.
Yeah.
Big nutcrackers. Thank you so much.
Okay. Other questions? Nancy.
I don't have a question. I'm gonna make a plug for advertising artists. We have some incredibly reasonable prices if you didn't want to just possibly purchase a business card size. We have half page, quarter page, eighth page is your business card size. And they are very reasonable. Artist pricing, early bird artist pricing is so inexpensive that it just gets a couple more eyeballs to your work in the directory. Just saying. If
Thank
anybody,
you, Nancy. That's
you're-
that good observation. Yeah, the advertising rates for registered artists are quite reasonable. So
yeah.
definitely worth taking a look at.
Well, we've never had that. I guess last year or year before was the first time we ever had larger sizes that are available at reasonable prices because, you know, as artists, we're all poor. And it just gives you one more way to put your art out in public. You have 6 images on your page, and you could have other images on your advertising, plus a way to put your phone number or your website, etc. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Other questions?
Yay.
Okay. All right. Well, if anybody has questions that occur to them afterwards, feel free to drop us an email. You know, we try to get back to everybody at a reasonably timely way, and let us know if you do have any. There's one question here. Okay. Can we scroll back, Roberta? There was a question from somebody about different locations.
I don't. No, I answered her. She was asking about fees for more than one weekend. It's
okay.
One fee. You can do
One
as many
fee for
weekends as you want.
Right. One fee for 1, 2, or 3 weekends. So
and Rose, yes, you can add another weekend at any time you want. Just you want to do it though before the directory goes to print. Otherwise, that added weekend won't get put in the directory. So yes.
It won't get put, it won't be in the printed directory.
Correct.
We also have an online directory.
Right.
Yeah.
So it will be in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to sort of keep those deadlines in mind if you want to make sure that it's listed in the printed directory. You know, make sure you get that changed or added before that deadline to be, you know, helpful.
Okay. All right. Do we have any other questions? Anything we've missed in the chat, Roberta?
Nope, I think I got them all. I did put in the chat the info@svos.org email. If you have any additional questions, that's where they need to get sent.
Awesome.
So if you want to copy and paste that out and stick it on a clipboard somewhere, as questions come up, just pop us a note at that email and we'll get back to you.
And I'm usually this is Barbara, I'm usually the one that monitors that site, and I can answer or turf it to the appropriate person.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Hope we were able to answer your questions satisfactorily, and we're looking forward to having you join us this year.
Yeah.
Should be good.
And,
Thank you.
and please, if you're trying to register and you run into any, you know, problems, email info@svos.org and we can work on that.
Okay. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks.